I'm back. The real me. Let's not make a whole thing of it.
Yeah, I know it's been a minute, but we're back in it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Music Gauntlet channel. I know it has been too long and I've missed a lot of great albums. Some I might go back and cover, but some it just might be too late to do. But today, we're going to be talking about the debut album from Samia called The Baby. Or at least that's how I think you pronounce her name. There's no official pronunciation considering she's an uprising artist, so that's what I'm going to go with, especially because that's like the most notorious English way of saying it, so that's what we're going to roll with. Samia comes at us from New York City and is known for her singer-songwriter style with a bit of a psychedelic alternative rock twist. I admittedly knew next to nothing about this artist until about this past month, and I've been seeing, especially in research for doing this review, I've been seeing a bunch of headlines about this artist, people raving about her new album and saying she's the next big thing, singer-songwriter wise to come out of New York. When it comes to albums in the alternative rock vein, I'm kind of turned off by them because a lot of them seem to sound the same to me, just looking at it from an outsider's perspective. Not to say they all do sound the same, but just when it comes to me, it's harder to impress me when it comes to an album like this, just because I'm not the biggest fan of that genre. Some of my favorite albums come from the alt-rock scene, but that's also coming from artists that are more developed, had more time in the industry to craft their sound and develop it, whereas Samia has only been around, from what I've seen, has been making waves since early 2019, and yeah, that's been about a year and a half to 2 years, but still not a very long time in the music industry. So like any album this early on in an artist's career, I kind of just expected it to be good. Have some highlights, be entertaining, but definitely some room for growth, and overall just an average album. So, is that what Samia delivered for her debut album, The Baby? No, not at all, and I am definitely not one to ride any kind of wave, but damn, did this album impress me from start to finish. I mean, yes, it's a debut album, there's gonna be room for growth, there's gonna be room for her to do better in the future, but I'll talk about that later. For now, I want to focus on the fact that this album is just really, really good. What I really like about Samia is the lyrics she presents in every song because it's not as surface level as it may seem, and in fact actually come off as being extremely relatable once you understand the underlying meanings. For instance, the very dreamy and intriguing opening cut Pool. On the surface level, it's just about some girl sitting in a pool looking up at the moon. How boring, right? But what she's actually trying to explain are those short moments and just loving those short moments. Those moments where it's very blissful and quiet and you just have some very nice internal happiness, but also the fear of that internal happiness because it's very short-lived, you know? Once you wake up the next morning, you know, that moment of you sitting in the pool looking up at the moon, it's not going to exist anymore. It's only going to exist in your memories, and there's fear of losing that happiness and just that very short moment of bliss. The track Limbo Bitch is about trying to impress friends that perceive you as being this confident, independent person, when in reality that's just the front you put on in front of them to impress them. I mean, seriously, who has not been there before? And that concept even tying into a later track on the album called Winnebago, basically describing the aftermath of the previous situation where she's in the bathroom crying, depressed about what she just experienced, but then coming out of the bathroom somewhat at peace with herself because she knows no matter what, she's still gonna look back at this time with happy memories, just being at this party and having a good time, not what this person thought about her when she's, you know, looking back at this moment like 10 years in the future, 15 years in the future. Just some really good songwriting all across the board, and there are some moments where it kind of takes a back seat and is kind of lackluster, like on Triptych and on Is There Something in the Movies, which kind of comes off more confusing than conceptual. But when the lyricism isn't the strongest on this album, the production is killing it. When it's uplifting, when she's talking about uplifting topics, it can be very lush and inviting. And yes, while the depressing instrumentals can be somewhat predictable, it doesn't mean they're not greatly enhanced by layered background vocals, layered instrumentals. She knows how to do a lot by doing very little. I want to make the quick comparison to the Glass Animals in that what they seem to be missing is the lyric side of things. They focus a lot of the instrumentals, and I really like the Glass Animals production, but they seem to just gloss over their lyrics. Samia with The Baby, on the other hand, finds that nice balance between the two. Some really great instrumentals, some really great songwriting, and some really great vocals. Yeah, the vocals. That is the cherry on top for this project. For a 23-year-old singer, she sounds great, and I don't know, maybe great's a bit of an overstatement, but for these instrumentals, and she just knows how to pair her vocals with some great production, and overall, just knows how to craft a great album with the vocals that she was given. She knows when to express emotion, but not express too much emotion. She knows when to play it quiet, when to really amp up her vocals. She knows the perfect inflections to deliver the emotion that each song needs. The best part about an album like this is you don't have to focus on one thing through one listen, and what I mean by that is maybe through one listen, you can just listen to the instrumentals and just the production while you're doing something else. Another listen, you can actually sit down with it and listen to the lyrics and actually be entertained listening to the lyrics. Another listen, you can be listening to her voice the whole time and just be soothed by her voice. It's just very eclectic. I guess in the future, I'd like to see Samia flesh out these concepts more, maybe make an even more engaging album, not to say she has it now, but just make one that's even more engaging to the point where I just can't stop listening to it. And this album is on repeat, but I could see the potential for her to make just a really, really great singer-songwriter album, and I know she has it in her, and I'm just glad this is her debut project. Because my biggest complaint about this project is just the growth. I see in every aspect of this album there is room for her to grow as an artist, but this being her debut project, that's actually really exciting because I have high hopes for her career. If she can do better than this, she can do some great things. I don't think, with as introspective and as wise of a songwriter that she is, that she could possibly make a worse album or one that's not even that good. I really just see a lot of potential here, and I just don't think she's the kind of artist that's gonna let herself slide like that. Yeah, so if you haven't caught on by now, I really, really enjoy this project. It most likely will make my end of the year list. I'm not entirely sure yet, I just gotta listen to it more times, but I'm really enjoying it, really liking her style of music and her just songwriting, production, all of it. Really love what she's doing in the industry. And the fact that her songwriting is just extremely relatable just really adds to the effect overall. Now, normally this is the part of the video where I would rank where this lands in her albums, but considering this is her debut album and an impressive one at that, this is my favorite album by her, for now. And I'm looking forward to see if anything tops this. I would like something to top this, honestly. Please top this album. And for my top 5 songs from the album, God, this is hard. Oh, I think I gotta do the first 4 in a row: Pool, Fit and Full, Big Wheel, and Limbo Bitch, and then Winnebago. Oh, that's tough though. This whole album is great, but I think, yeah, I'm gonna stick with those 5, for sure. And that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, but I'm trying to do better. I really have a passion for talking about music, and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep a steady upload schedule. So next, I'm going to be talking about the Internet Money album, and I'm hopefully just going to be keeping up with the albums from there. So thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one.